Welcome back to episode 4 of Bad Take Philly. I'm Dalton, Aiden, and Dakota, and as you may notice, something's different around here. We have a new overlay! Look at that!
We love the overlay.
It's amazing. Thank you for Aiden for making that. I'm sure it took many hours. And
He's a good editor in the game.
Yeah,
we have the best. There's no better editor.
None.
So maybe you can get hired by like John Boy or something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. Probably. Definitely in your future. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We 3 established hosts in the game.
Yep.
Us 3.
Straight to WIP, I'm feeling, for at least 2 of us.
Yes.
Great 3 host.
The big
podcast.
3.
So, how are you guys feeling?
Feeling good.
I mean, I think we come back and win the series in 7. I'm just going to come out and say that. I'm feeling very confident.
We won game 3.
Yeah, that's all it needed. That's all it needed.
Game 4 is tonight for us. So we're not going to be commenting on game... Well, we are going to be commenting on game 4, but everyone watching will have already seen game 4. So
we're going to look really smart or really stupid.
Yeah.
Let's hope for smart.
I think we're going to look so smart.
We are Bad Take Philly, though, so if we look stupid, it kind of is on brand.
That's true. Well, look, we didn't have Embiid for the first 2 games. Now we got him back. You know, I might have said, maybe possibly, that the series was just over and that there was no chance of the Sixers winning the series. But guess what? I'm now saying the series is over.
Not over.
There's no chance of the Heat winning the series.
Oh, it is over. It's over.
The Heat might win Game 5 or something. We'll give them a game. We're feeling bad for them at this point.
Give them a game
because they're getting processed right now.
They're getting processed
by Joel Hans Embiid. He's going out doing MVP type stuff. He might get MVP tonight.
Yeah.
If the rumors or whatever that we've been hearing are true. So, I mean, does Miami have an MVP? No.
They have the 6th man of the year. Can't even start, fucking bum.
Yeah. So, Embiid's going to come out. Even if it doesn't make the offensive impact, the defensive impact.
It was great.
Pretty good.
Well, he has an offensive impact because he still has to, like,
That's true.
he draws people.
Yeah. But you just saw Bam Adebayo. He went from grabbing, it felt like 50 offensive rebounds to he was almost non-existent. Game 3. He only had like 9 points or something like that. So look for that to continue. Everyone just played with so much more energy, and like
it was a fun game to watch.
It was such a fun game to watch. Like Danny Green hitting 7 threes, Matisse starting that. I think he's starting to get back in that flow that he was during the regular season. On defense, he was just all types of havoc. Like Tyler Hero couldn't get off any reasonable shot because Matisse was just draped all over him. So if that continues, that's great. Tyrese Maxey in the second half, taking over. James Harden in the first half, 15 first half points.
Fat.
Yeah, everyone was just contributing. It was a really great game to watch. So hopefully game 4 we even up the series and just get the ball rolling.
Yeah, Tyler Hero just has a song named after him. That's about all he's got going for him.
No, he's terrible.
It's a good song though.
But like that's what he's got going for him. Like Boom Bomb, what's his name?
Mo Bamba.
Bo Bamba has a song named after him. But like, is he
really
any good?
Bad. He's really bad.
Yes, exactly. So like same shit.
But we were back to Danny Green. We were calling for him to be taken out of the lineup or off the Sixers. We wanted him dead.
I called him Danny Bricks many times.
And he showed out. He showed up. And yeah, he did great. So we apologize to Danny Green. As long as he continues playing well.
If not, fuck you.
if he goes like 2 for 12 tonight, then it's back to Danny Bricks. But for now, he's Danny. What's his Instagram name? It's something stupid, like Green Ranger or something like that.
Yeah, I saw that actually.
Green Ranger, that's what it is.
Danny scores a lot.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens.
He was the leading scorer last game, so I mean, or was he? Or was it Maxey?
Oh.
I checked,
well, Maxey
with like 3
had,
minutes left. He
had no points in the first. So it was Danny Green. Yeah.
It might have been tied 21-21. But either way, it was a
good job,
game.
Danny Green.
Yeah, good job.
We also didn't see DeAndre Jordan, so that's a big win.
Yeah. That makes Joel's impact even better that he can get Jordan off the field. So
yeah, just getting Jordans out of your life in general is just a good idea.
No Paul Millsap like the first game either. Yeah, no. Embiid and Paul Reed is a lot better than Jordan, Paul Reed, Niang playing small ball center. Like that's not good. But we got the MVP back, and might be rolling to the conference finals for the first time.
We're minus money tonight.
That's good. I mean,
which I was looking at it. I'm like, I'm gonna bet the Sixers, and it was like minus 135. And I was like, I don't know about that one.
Well, you want me to give you an interesting fact?
I would love an
What's
interesting
your
fact.
The Dak fact.
The Dak
So
fact.
I was perusing Twitter today and Snapchat, just looking around at different things, and I saw two interesting statistics of sorts. So the referee Scott Foster.
Sure.
He's this referee. Not a great reputation, especially with Harden and Chris Paul. I think it was like 3 years ago when Houston was up 3-2 against Golden State for a chance to go to the finals. And I think it was Game 7. They missed like an absurd amount of threes. They went like two. It was just something terrible. But then they also, after the game, sat there and blamed Scott Foster, and they had this big beef with a referee. Yeah. So the stat is, there's two stats. The first one, Chris Paul and James Harden are combined 1-27 when Scott Foster is the referee in playoff games. And the only win was when James Harden beat Chris Paul. But
why am I supposed to be like, yes, go Sixers?
But when Scott Foster is the referee and the playoff team is losing a series, they are 19-2.
Oh,
wow!
So
two numbers collide.
Exactly.
Two numbers collide there.
I mean, I'm thinking that we go to 20-2.
I'm thinking this guy just gets fired. It sounds like he's breaking every game. He's fucking ghosted. What are you talking about? That's ridiculous.
That's a crazy couple stats.
This.
So
yeah, well,
not sure how much confidence it really gives me though.
No, they're no way.
If Harden does bad though,
yeah,
then
fucking this guy just hates him. Unless he jealous of his beard.
That is such a crazy stat though. Like, how can so that means Chris Paul is just winless against this referee in at least like double-digit games that he's played.
Yeah, Chris Paul, you could say, he's pretty good at basketball too.
He is. One of those games was the playoffs against the Pelicans. This playoffs, like the Pelicans are at 8 seed, and Phoenix was supposed to win the championship and they lost. So maybe it's Scott Foster that was working the games, but maybe Scott Foster's like, well, I don't like James Harden, but the NBA wants me to have more games so we make more money. So money. Sixers tied up.
Yeah.
Maybe we do like more. The NBA definitely would like more games.
Yes.
Yeah. More games is more monies. So today we're going to try out some new segments. One of them being over, under, or properly rated. That's me ran by Dakota today. So Dakota's going to give us a couple people, coaches, things, places, and we're going to tell them if they're over, under, or properly rated.
So I decided since it's the first time we're doing this, just go simple. 3, I say, fairly controversial NFL players. Let's go. First one, Kirk Cousins. Overrated, properly rated, underrated.
I think at the beginning of the season, last season, he was underrated. Then he did very well, got a bit overrated, and then did pretty bad towards fine at the last half of the year. And now he's more just rated.
So give every fucking answer in the book, Aiden.
I'd say right now he is rated.
I don't know.
I think Kirk Cousins, at this very moment, is an underrated quarterback.
But he just got throughout last year, he got so hyped up. And
by Brendan.
No,
I mean, who's that? But
a lot of people were talking about. I saw a lot of posts about him. And then he just tailed off at the end of the year. So he's rated.
No, but is he? He had a bad end of the year for definitely, truly. But he's a good quarterback. And
yeah, so he's rated.
No, but he's a good quarterback. Yeah. He's in that tier of there's if you at home, if you want to do this, you can list out the top 13 quarterbacks in the NFL, and you'll see at 13 if you count Brady. At 13, after that, it was a giant drop off, and Kirk Cousins is in that that top tier.
So, what's the national perception?
I feel like Kirk Cousins is considered to be the most bang average quarterback in the league, which is not true. Kirk Cousins is an above average quarterback.
Yeah, I would say average quarterback is Ryan Tannehill, and I would every single day of the week rather have Kirk Cousins than Ryan Tannehill.
I thought that was already the
I don't know if that is the rating. I don't know what the rating is with Kirk Cousins.
It's true.
I would also say a bit above average, but
I feel like he gets the Tobias treatment a little bit, where he's this big paid.
He's paid too much. That's for sure.
His contract is fully guaranteed, so he's paid, or he's not worth what his contract is. But then I feel like people just look at that, like they do with Tobias. They go, "Wow, look at this," and he just doesn't match that, and they just kind of go overboard with the Kirk Cousins hate. And he's still a good player. He's a good quarterback. Like, he's like the top 13.
Yeah, he's
like
good.
Not like top 10 or anything. He'll never be that.
He's close.
He's
He
right
could be top
outside.
10.
He's right outside. Yeah.
Right
He
outside.
could be.
Way
I
outside.
think, he's got good numbers, and he's careful with the ball. And he's had a pretty bad defense.
He does have great weapons though.
Yeah,
And that's the other side of the
yeah,
argument. He's throwing to Justin Jefferson, Thielen, and he's got Dalvin Cook as his running back. I don't know. I would say he's underrated. He's like the only quarterback that I can ever remember since I started watching football that like succeeded in Washington.
That is a
Who
good
succeeds
point.
in Washington?
Not Carson Wentz.
Not Carson Wentz. No, he's terrible. Like Alex Smith, like kind of was winning before he broke his leg.
That's true. He was actually. They were doing pretty good.
That's the only other like Griffin his rookie year before he got hurt.
That's a really good point that no one
Like
has.
Heineke, Haskins, Case Keenum, like Sanchez started a couple
Heineke's
games.
overrated somehow. Like
Yeah, so
Just
Kirk Cousins there
leave
was stability that Washington never has.
Facts.
So I would say he's underrated.
You have another
You
one?
would say rated.
I would I'd say rated.
I would say he's.
But
slightly
I thought
underrated.
the perception of him is a bit higher than I think what you're going with.
I don't know. I think he's subject of a lot of slander, but then a lot of people also I think understand that he's a good quarterback.
I feel like he could get blamed for like I don't know if the Vikings that much, but I feel like he probably gets blamed for some of the Vikings letdowns in recent years when it's realistically the defense and the coach.
Yeah, like I think that's why part of Diggs might have wanted him traded. Like I don't think Minnesota wanted to pay him, but I also think he might have been sick and tired of playing with Cousins, which he upgraded obviously to Allen. But
I mean, but like that's pretty annoying to like want to leave Kirk Cousins and like
Yeah.
a good offense who obviously can supply number one receiver in the NFL.
yeah, I don't know.
Well, I know Diggs was a not top 5 conversation before, like at Minnesota.
Oh yeah,
Now he's top 5. So is that the same as Justin Jefferson, the best receiver? I mean, he's already like
He's up there.
up
Yeah, he's
in the
up there.
conversation.
He's
but,
top
like,
5.
if you give him Allen, is he the best already?
Well, I think Kirk Cousins is good for supplying like fantasy numbers and like just numbers in
Yeah,
general.
they throw the ball.
He's one of the best just quarterbacks for like supplying a fantasy player.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say like numbers work too well for that type of translation, especially because like when you go to Buffalo, like when Diggs went to Buffalo, he's like pretty much their only like alpha,
Yeah,
even with like running
That year.
backs.
That's fair.
Like Vikings have
that's true.
one of the best running backs in the league. You got another one?
I do have another one. This one's, I think, similar to the Kirk Cousins debate, but he's like on a higher platform. Like we debate whether he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. That's Matt Ryan.
Ooh. Are we talking Matt Ryan's career in general?
Sure, yeah, that's an interesting argument. Like whether he's a Hall of Fame quarterback or not. Is he overrated, underrated, properly rated?
I think
He's as a Hall of Fame quarterback, he's overrated. I don't think he's Hall of Fame.
I think current Matt Ryan is overrated.
Well, Matt Ryan's like dead.
Well, everyone's saying that current Matt
think
Ryan
current
putting
Matt
the
Ryan-
Colts to the Super Bowl. So
Are they? This is probably Pat McAfee.
I don't know. Current Matt Ryan might be underrated in my mind.
I think he's underrated currently. I
Career
agree.
Matt Ryan is.
I think he's overrated. He's one of the best receivers of all time. And, like, yes, he had that 1 year where he was just insane. Fair. He's had a lot of bad years. A lot of very, very, very mid years where he just, I don't think he's earned, definitely not Hall of Fame. He hasn't won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He had the biggest choke in NFL history.
Wasn't entirely his fault. There's a lot.
He took
of
that one
factors.
sack. He took that one sack that just is unacceptable. One of the worst plays I've ever seen. You're like, I think they were up by 7 or 8, so it was a 1-score game, I believe, and they were in field goal range. And
That was after like the Julio catch.
and I think so. I don't remember. And then he took a sack to put him out of field goal range, so they had to punt and give the balls to give the Patriots a chance. If he just took a knee, they could get the field goal and win the game because they've been up by 2 scores with like no time left, pretty much. So, but no, I just don't think he hasn't had that many like elite years. Like how many years has Matt Ryan been elite? or was elite.
He was elite that one year. I feel like he's always like he's a quiet top 10 quarterback every year. I feel like, but truly elite. Like we're talking about him like as the game's top 5 quarterback. He's never been that player.
Yeah,
no.
You have to be really good to be in the Hall of Fame. And
he's always been a winner. Like he's always put up stats. He's won games. Like he's taken Atlanta to some playoff games. But Hall of Famer, I feel like it's just because in today's game you throw the ball a lot more than you did 20, 30 years ago. So people look at the stats and then compare the other Hall of Fame quarterbacks and go, oh, well, he should be a Hall of Fame quarterback. But like Matt Ryan, he won an MVP. Like maybe if he won that Super Bowl, like we look at his legacy different, and he was like
for sure.
quarter and a 2 minutes whatever from winning that. Which again, like I don't think that's his fault because like Shanahan was still throwing the ball. They should have been running the ball, running the clock out. The defense just choked 25 points. Devonta Freeman missed a block, so Ryan gets killed, fumbles the ball. There was a holding penalty like after that Julio catch, and then Matt Ryan did take a sack. But there's just so many things that went into that. Like that was a complete team. But since he is a quarterback, he's going to get a lot of blame for that. So I think he's overrated as a career. But right now,
right now, I actually would agree he's probably underrated because a lot of people think he's like done.
Yeah, I think he's done.
And I don't think he's
gonna have a good year.
I don't think he's done just yet. I think he can put up. He's not going to put up good numbers, not like insane numbers, but I think he could be like an average, like Ryan Tannehill type quarterback who can be a player that can lead your team to. I mean, the AFC is going to be very hard, but he could lead the team to a playoff berth and maybe even a playoff win.
I don't think that he's going to have significantly better numbers than Wentz did for the Colts last year, or even just like
he's not going to lose you a game like Wentz.
Yeah, Wentz didn't have that bad. And Wentz actually had good numbers for like a good part of the season.
He ran the ball so much.
I know. But I'm just saying, like he had good numbers for a good part of the season. I think Matt Ryan can do that better.
I think he's not great over Wentz.
Yeah, he has.
I think he's
Wentz
just not going to change the outcome for their season and the outcome for most games. I feel like like we talked about wins above replacement in baseball. Like maybe he gets some extra win throughout the season.
No, I think it's a good spot for him because he's going into like a great O-line.
Yes.
One of the best running backs in the league. Bad receiving core, but some weapons. Pittman's
got a good coach too, Frank Reich.
Good coach and a stellar defense. Like he's in a good spot for someone like him to make that just be good enough.
Yeah.
If he's good enough, they can have a good team.
Yeah, I think the difference between him and Wentz, like him and Wentz are both not going to win you games, but he's not going to lose you a game like Wentz. Like that last game with a chance to make the playoffs, and Wentz was just horrible against the worst team in the NFL. Like, I don't think Ryan's going to put in a performance like that. I also think that Ryan, like the last couple of years with Atlanta, like that team was horrible. Like his top weapon is Cordero Patterson and maybe Kyle Pitts. Like,
well, he had that gambling addict for a little bit.
Yeah, and he decided he didn't want to play, and then like wanted to whatever. So he didn't. He had Russell Gage, injured Julio in 2020. Like, he didn't have the best team around him at all. So I think we'll see how good he is within the United. He's definitely not what he was.
Yeah,
in like 2016, I think that year was his MVP year. So I think he's underrated at this point.
Well, I think that might be underrated. Might be the Phillies. They could be overrated, but as the record stands right now, they might be an underrated team. However, I think we'd all agree that right now the Phillies kind of suck.
Yeah.
We suck.
Yeah. Well, they won today in the first game.
They won the first game today.
Second one. They're playing it right now.
We got rained out 2 nights in a row before this, and
it's 6-1 now.
Okay, we're losing. Well, if it's the 9th inning, then the Phillies would know how to give up a lead of 7 or more in the 9th inning or whatever. So that was a terrible game to watch, and that was unacceptable.
We were watching together.
Yeah.
We're all
happy.
It
was the first Phillies game I've watched in like 3 weeks, and they do that. It was ridiculous.
It was.
It was just like, okay, they gave up the hit. Oh, Lindor. Oh, we don't like Lindor. That sucks, but they're still going to win. And then it turned into more
hits.
And more. And then it was like, it's 7-5, and they have runners on like 3rd and 2nd, whatever. And you're like, okay, they're going to lose. Like, we already know how this is going. and then that's how it went.
Yeah, and then I'm pretty sure it went 1-2-3 in the bottom of the ninth. Like, it was just a complete collapse, and
yeah,
I don't know how.
And the place
you
is
can
just
let that
filled
happen.
with Mets fans. Like, I hate that. That's the worst part out. They just take over the stadium. That just annoys me so much.
And it doesn't usually happen in like Philly sports.
No,
like that's
no.
not a thing that happens in basketball or football. Fuck hockey. But like Eagles fans, we travel so well. We are one of the best fan bases in terms of getting into other stadiums, invading other stadiums, and not letting other people come to our stadium. But then you look at that Phillies game, and
They do it every time. It's so annoying.
there's so many Mets fans.
Yeah, and then Girardi's like, well, we played well for 8 innings. Not the last one. Like, well, no, like obviously.
He's dumbass.
How long do you think he has before he gets fired?
Hopefully, All-Star break.
Well, they have a very hard schedule coming up, so if they keep losing,
Yeah.
he could be gone.
I saw that his job was reportedly not on the block yet, but like they gotta be looking at other people.
They should find that block and put his name on
For
it.
real, like that team last year wasn't a great team, but it wasn't bad, and for only
It
to
was
go
a playoff team, I'd say.
like, and then like you see with the bullpen, like they recycle a new bullpen every year, and it still manages to be like in the bottom of ERA like throughout the league every year. Like maybe it's not who we get, and maybe it's the guy that's managing the bullpen. Like
A mix of both. If we haven't really signed like a big reliever since
Reliever.
Dominguez, and he was hurt for the last 2.5 years. So, like, if we put all of our resources that we put into some of these bats into different relievers, then the ERA would be better. But I mean, the way Girardi went about it that last night was like you put in, oh, we're up 7, let's put in the guy who needs
who
more.
was that guy? James something?
He's like he needs more confidence. Just finish the game out, win the game. Worry about stop. Just finish. Win one game at a time.
Win the game.
That's what you need to win one game at a time. That's your job as a manager is to win the game you're playing at that very moment.
You put in Knable, and he's your big prize reliever, and he just nothing.
Well, I mean, you put him in after the Norwood gave up 5-ish runs, right?
I think it was still 7-4. It was definitely after the win.
But like bases were like almost loaded too.
Yeah, it was just over
second,
by
third,
then.
right?
But he couldn't come in and close it down like.
And he had been
It's a train wreck.
decent up until that
He was
point.
pretty good. Yeah.
But
So
and just Phillies relievers, not good.
I'm just tired of Girardi. I just don't feel like there's any urgency or any energy from him. I just feel like he's just dull.
Yeah.
Like I don't see a personality from Girardi. And
when,
this team is struggling. You need someone to just get in their face and yell at them and go like, "Let's go!" Like you guys are the highest paid team in Phillies franchise history. This is unacceptable.
does he have that in him? Like when we saw, what was it 2 weeks ago? Maybe when Schwarber flipped out on Angel Hernandez, and then Girardi kind of like
he did.
gave him a little talking to, but like he didn't like. I feel like the manager needs to almost outdo the player at some points.
Yeah.
Like the player needs to know the manager's got their back, and he just like he kind of gave him like a little firm talking to, but like that's just not what's needed when Schwarber breaks his bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Kapler had his outbursts when he
Kapler
was still the manager.
Did that well.
I don't remember Girardi. Maybe a couple. Not any that sticks out today. Like I just like if he has that in him, the time is now to see it before the season is just completely lost after this road trip where you're playing teams like the Dodgers. I forget exactly who they're playing, but I know it's a lot of tough teams. You still have these games with the Mets. Like we got to see it now before it's too late.
You know when your like teacher comes back after they were missing a day, and they give like the talk of like they're sitting up on the desk and they're like, I've never gotten such a worse note from a substitute. That's what he needs to do to this Phillies team. I've never seen a more sad excuse of a bunch of fuckheads than you guys. You need to hit the ball and score runs and win games. Does he have that in him though? I don't know.
We'll see.
Probably not.
I was talking with Jeff, and he was saying that Yankees Girardi was that animated manager, and Jeff watched the clip of the Schwarber thing and just said that like that's not the same Girardi that was at the Yankees, and it wasn't. Like that Girardi is who we needed, and this isn't who we got.
Yeah, between him and Doc.
Yeah.
Might be seeing people hitting the road soon. Well, maybe not Doc once we win the series.
Is Sirianni the best
Once we win
coach in
finals.
Philly?
Once we get to the final. Sirianni might be the best coach in Philly. You got Doc. We don't need to talk about Doc. You got Girardi, Sirianni. We got
The Flyers don't.
we've got
have a
Ghost
manager.
Person and Ghost Team.
Yeah, the Flyers don't have an
And then we got the Stars. Who's the Stars coach?
I have no idea.
So there
It
you
should
go.
be Brian Scott.
Villanova's coach, right? That's good.
Well, he retired, so
Yeah.
Shit,
it's not even him
didn't they get a new
anymore.
guy? Didn't they get a new guy? Yeah, I don't know.
He's like from like some tiny school. Yeah, so it's Sirianni.
Yeah, I have best coach in
Wow.
Philly. Give him a
Yeah.
flower. All right, so now we're gonna do another one of our new segments. This is not a new segment, but we're just gonna have a ranking, a tiered ranking, wide receiver duos. We thought it was fitting because obviously the Eagles just got AJ Brown about 2 weeks ago now, and we're gonna see what tier of wide receiver duos we can get as Eagles fans, because we saw someone on TV say that the Eagles have a top 3 wide receiver duo in the league, and while I would love that to be true, it's just absolutely not true.
Yeah, there's been a lot of hype over which I understand. I'm excited too. I am just as excited as everyone else that we have AJ Brown and pairing him with Devonta Smith. But the top 3 talk, like once you actually sit there and think about it, you go,
For
wow.
like 2 seconds, this guy had a TV slope.
It was a terrible segment.
We should be on the TV segment.
Yeah.
Us
We could have
three.
made a better segment.
Us three know more about football than any of those people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially
On
those
the
2 on that
Yeah.
night. Like, that
Yes. It was
Thanks,
laughable.
Eagles.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so we're just going to go team by team, duo by duo. And,
You got the S tier, A tier,
right.
B tier, C tier, D tier,
an
F
F
tier.
tier.
F tier.
I know my letters.
You
You can say I
do.
don't know sports, but I know my letters. All right, first one, Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis.
It's got to be up there. Gabriel Davis is an up-and-coming star. He had that amazing game in the AFC Championship. And because
And he was doing
of
good
that,
the whole last half of the season.
because of that, I'd be almost tempted to say they're A tier.
I would say they're A tier.
A tier?
For sure.
A tier.
I thought
I'd say
you were gonna go S tier
before
for a
that
second.
game, I'd say B. But, like, that game just was insane for Davis.
I wanted them around A, yeah.
A tier, yes.
All right. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. I think I have to go S for that.
It's,
You have a stud in Hill and a very promising up-and-coming, almost already a stud in Waddle.
Yeah,
Who's gonna
he
be
had
even better?
catches last year. Like the yards, like he only averaged like 9 yards a catch, but he's
Still
for,
good.
he's for real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
Jalen Waddle.
really good.
And now that he's number 2 in the offense, he's going to be so good.
If only they had a real quarterback. Bro,
Yeah. Tua turned the
that
ball over.
offense could be ridiculous. Gesicki at tight end, and
Tua's
they
gotta be
signed
good.
Cedric Wilson. There's no
Chase
choice.
Edmonds at running back? That's nuts.
and Raheem Mostert,
Oh, my
Mostert.
God.
Miles Gaskin.
For the
The
one
whole
game he
team's going to be
plays.
hurt by week 2.
Yeah, exactly. And they invested a lot into the O-line, too. We had one of the... Well, I mean, I know the Cowboys had a terrible O-line last year, but the Dolphins
Cheers.
signed one of their starters, and they signed Terron Armstead in free agency. So no
Oh, it
excuse
made it
for...
seem worse.
Probably,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Cowboys
But
are line.
no excuse for Tua to fail. Anyway,
No.
So
Jacoby Myers, DeMonte Parker.
that's
I'd
D.
go around D.
D. Yeah. Like 2 players that you'd love to have as your wide receiver 3,
Yeah.
but as a
Not
1 and a
as
2, it's not. It's
Not looking
pretty.
great.
No,
Yeah.
not looking great. It's not poverty, but it's not. It's
I mean,
not good.
Myers, like he's been in the league for 3 years, and he only learned this year that in order to score in football, you have to go into the end zone.
Yeah.
So
But he's not bad.
He's
Myers is
not
a good-
bad.
I like
He's
Myers a
Good.
lot.
No.
And Devontae Parker, he's vibes, but like
I mean, he's always like been that.
Probably one of the top 5 vibiest players
Yeah.
in the league.
good vibes.
It's always he had his first round pick, and he never had that breakout. He's always been okay.
He had that 1 year like 3-4 years
yeah,
ago.
that's
Where he was
2019.
pretty good,
Yes,
but
but he's never lived up to what he was supposed to
maybe
be.
he can take another step forward and be a decent
With-
receiver this year.
Big Mac thrown to him. I know you're a Big Mac fan, right?
Yeah, I hate Big Mac. Big Mac sucks.
All right. Who's that? Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis.
Corey Davis.
C.
D.
Yeah.
It's this thing with rookie receivers
Yeah,
that we don't know
rookies.
really how to grade them. We all think that not Corey Davis, Garrett Wilson could be the top receiver from this draft
Top
class.
dog.
Yeah.
He also could be a bust. You never know with these wide receivers.
And Davis isn't special.
No.
No,
he's
Davis
not.
is like once again one of those players you'd love to have as your 3, be an okay 2. So nothing special there.
I would just put him at C because I believe in Garrett Wilson that much.
I mean,
But D, I can understand.
we'll take your word
'cause
for
he's
it,
not
Dak. We'll put him at C.
proven. Okay.
Slightly below average receiving core.
I would take him over Myers and Parker.
All right.
Yeah.
We have Bateman and Devin Duvernay. Devin Duvernay was a Pro Bowler this past year on special teams.
I think this is
Oh no,
straight
they're
to
on F tier.
Yes, they are.
They're
And
F
I'm
tier?
Straight to F.
I am
they're
What
F
are you
tier?
talking about?
I am such a big Rashad Bateman fan. I
I
might
love
be
Rashad Bateman. He's so
I
good.
love Rashad Bateman.
F?
But
That's an
like,
F tier.
come on, Devin Duvernay. Devin
Pro Bowler.
Duvernay.
Pro
And
Bowler.
Bateman played like 8 games last year. Like,
Like-
he just hasn't proven himself. And Duvernay is Devin Duvernay. Like,
That's
I mean, I think F's a bit harsh, but
No,
if you guys
it's
both
not.
agree,
No.
I can't really overturn that.
they're not the worst. I'm looking at this right now.
No.
They're not the worst.
there'll be other F tiers,
Yes.
but they're also an F tier.
Chase Higgins is S. I don't even
Oh,
call it
yes.
that. It's just two young studs and
Yeah,
just dogs.
very good.
We could have had that, you know. Actually, no, we couldn't have had Chase, but we could have had Higgins. But, you know, another player that, you know, whoever it was, I guess it was Howie, thought Ribbit was better.
Ribbit.
Great pick,
If
Howie.
we made this list last year, I'm pretty sure we'd have to put Rager on the list too, which is the worst part of this.
Yeah, because that was before, like, the training camp with Quez showing that he was a better
Yeah, it would be
receiver.
Smith, Rager, and we'd be F.
Wow.
All right, so this next team
Maybe
is
we could have talked ourselves into putting them in, like, C tier.
So the Browns have a stud wide receiver, Amari Cooper, and they have no other real notable names besides their third round pick. What's his first name?
David Bell.
David Bell.
David Bell.
So Cooper's a stud, but with
C.
Bell being their next receiver, I put him in C. I agree.
Yeah.
Like it's such a big drop off in wide receiver.
Yeah, like Cooper's not elevating him to a B tier by himself.
No,
It's a slightly
it's
below
either
average.
C or D.
But if you
for me.
or D, I put him at C. Because like as a receiving core as a whole, they're not like they're slightly below average. I would say.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess if you have Cooper.
Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool. That's a pretty good wide receiver core.
I'm a big Deontay Johnson.
I am a
too.
huge Deontay Johnson
love
fan. I
Deontay
fucking hate
But-
Chase Claypool.
Exactly. Yeah, no, Chase Claypool's. I put them in B.
Oh no, that's an A. That's an A.
I was thinking more B.
Really?
Claypool's not. Well, I mean, we did put Diggs and Gabriel Davis there.
But
If Diggs and Davis are an A, we might need to move them down to B and then put Johnson. and
No, but
Claypool.
I think
Like-
Diggs and Gabriel Davis. Like, I think Diggs is better than Johnson, but
Yeah.
Claypool's better than Davis.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I don't know about that.
Claypool's more proven.
Gabriel Davis is so good.
Okay.
Like he's
This is what
no,
happens when you do
Deontay
a
Johnson's
podcast
like
with a Bills
Deontay
fan.
Johnson's a very good wide receiver and is
Yes.
kind of similar to Diggs. I think
I mean, I think
they're
Diggs
both
is,
just elite route runners.
Diggs is a tier above
Yeah.
him, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but a little. And Claypool's better than Davis.
But I think the wide receiver one has more pull on this
Well,
sort
it
of.
depends because like
If in the sort of even ranking as this one.
I'd be fine moving them both to B, but I think they're in the same tier. Or you can put them in A.
I'd put them in.
I'd
My final vote would be B.
B and keep Diggs and Davis at A.
I want that more.
Fine. I disagree, but it's fine.
We should have had Justin on it. Justin, I think, would have had been like a fourth vote. It could break some tiebreakers for us.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. If there's 3 people.
Just go along with what I said.
Sure.
Yeah.
Brandon Cooks.
and
Nico
Collins.
Collins. Oh my! Is
Get him down there.
Is Nico Collins the best Michigan receiver in the league? Though
Probably. I
I
can't name another
I
one.
can't
I
name another
can't
one.
name another one either.
Maybe Brady.
Brady. Well, he dropped that in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
any Michigan.
I can't think of any.
No, I mean Jabril Peppers paid some like receiver in college, but yeah, Nico Collins might be the best one.
So
That's F. And I like
oh yeah,
Brandon
that's
Cooks,
F.
but that is
I
F.
like Brandon Cooks. I think Brandon Cooks is underrated,
Yes.
but he's a low end 1, high end 2, and Collins is
Shouldn't he-
poverty. So just stay in F where you belong.
It's just an F.
Yeah.
They should have drafted
so
a receiver or something.
Michael Pittman and
Oh, Alec Pierce.
Alec Pierce. Pittman's up and coming, but I would say it's probably D tier. Like Pittman's a good receiver.
Is he better than Brandon Cooks?
I think it's D.
I think
at
this
least.
year I would say Pittman's probably better than Brandon Cooks. Pittman's like up and coming, and he's good. And he was very good last year on offense that wasn't throwing the ball a whole lot.
That's true. And Alec Pierce, I'm not a big Alec Pierce fan, but we'll see. He is a second-round pick, so they're going to use him. They have to use him, kind of. I guess D's fine for them. I mean, Pittman's a good receiver.
So next, you have Marvin Jones and Christian Kirk. I mean, they're paying them a lot of money for two just not very good receivers. What do you got?
They're both like that's like Myers and Parker for me.
I'm leaning towards D there.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not fighting for them to go to C.
Kirk is your one. Like, that's just not that good. And Jones is your two. It's just not
just decent players.
They're fine.
Once again, I would take either of them as I would be happy with them as my 3, but as my 1 and 2 is just not ideal.
Yeah, we were talking about getting Kirk.
Kirk as like our wide receiver.
I remember just playing basketball and then going to my phone and I'm like, oh wow, they did that.
They
just broke the receiver market. Yeah,
yep.
Really did.
Bobby Trees and Treylon Burks. Robert Woods has never been. I guess he was the one like before
Cup were like 1A, 1B, kind of.
Like 3 years ago.
He's been in LA for a while.
Yeah,
he's been there since like 2017.
And then Burks is a rookie that is hit or miss. So I'm saying it's probably D or C.
I think it could be C. I'm a huge Treylon Burks fan.
It's better than Myers and Parker, so you put him.
Yeah. He's got the AJ Brown comparison, and Robert Woods. He's coming off the ACL, but
like you can't hate Bobby Trees. Everyone loves
he's
Robert
always
Woods.
been a productive receiver his whole career. So I think C's fine.
Hollywood Brown and DeAndre Hopkins. That's a new duo that you won't see till week 7, but it's a good duo.
Yeah.
I think that could be S tier.
I think it also could be S tier.
Yeah, I think it's gotta be S tier.
I think Hollywood with Kyler now vertically stretching the field, you're gonna see how good Hollywood is.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Okay.
And like
Hopkins is still a top 5 receiver in the game.
Really?
I think so.
I mean, he definitely can be.
He's been hurt.
He definitely can be. He's been hurt.
But he definitely can be, yes.
Yeah, he would. It would not surprise me at all if Hopkins led the league in a lot of stats this year. Maybe not led the league, but was up there in like top 5 in receptions, yards, touchdowns, like all that good stuff. Like it would not surprise me whatsoever. And Brown's a low end wide receiver 1, which I think that's kind of how you get to S tier. You have to have a top end receiver along with another player that could be a 1 on another team.
Yeah.
Speaking of top receivers, and the person that could be a 1 on another team, we have Cooper Kupp and Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
Allen Robinson fell off a cliff last year, but can we really blame him?
No. Who's the quarterback that started? Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Fields, Dalton, and then they had a coach that didn't know.
And Nick Foles starting a couple games.
Yeah.
So we're not going to hate on him because we love Nick Foles.
Yeah,
but we're going to blame Justin Fields. We're going to blame Andy Dalton. And we're going to say, now you get to play with Sean McVay as your coach and Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp. So that's going to be great for them. Yeah.
So,
they just get rich. And they could be signing OBJ back, maybe. Like, we'll see what that happens. That's a stacked team.
So Debo's a stud and might be on the 49ers. We're going to assume that he is on the 49ers. Debo and Brandon Ayuk. I think it's got to be A tier. Like, stud wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
A tier.
Wide receiver 2 is a good wide receiver 2.
He had a bad start, and I remember you drafted a ton
I drafted
of
Ayuk in every single league last year. And that motherfucker didn't score more than like 2 points until week like 7. And by the time I dropped him or traded him in pretty much every league, then he's kind of picked up his pace, but whatever.
He ended the year well.
Yeah, he didn't do 2 points. He's a good 2.
Yeah.
Good 2.
He's a good 2. And Samuels is very good. And he also plays running back.
He's fat, too.
He is fat.
He's
but he's a good fat. He's a good fat. Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. That's a tricky one for me because I would love to say S instantly.
But without Russ.
Yeah, like they've been...
yeah. That's like on the border of S and A for me, but I would lean A.
I think I'm leaning A without.
But Metcalf and Lockett's so much better than Diggs and Davis.
Yeah.
That might need to be S.
But like, is he Cup? Allen
That's
Robinson?
true, because like Lockett's... Is Lockett a wide receiver 1 in the league? You don't think so?
You never wanted to be your receiver 1.
So Metcalf's like a mid wide receiver 1 in the league. You'd like to think, but when you gotta sit back and think about it, there's a lot of good wide receivers in the league.
Yeah.
And Metcalf could definitely, it could be, I mean, by the end of this year, if he's the top, and actually no, because he doesn't have a quarterback, but Metcalf in 2 years could be the top receiver in the league. He definitely could be, but like, as of right now, he's probably a mid-wide receiver 1, and Lockett's a really good 2, but not a 1. So probably A tier for them.
Yeah, I mean, Russ might have made Lockett. But Lockett's a good player. But I say A.
They could definitely both fall off a cliff with Horsecock Lock under center.
Geno Smith.
Or Geno Smith, whoever wants to win that battle.
Not a good. Yeah, no.
So the instant F tier, I would say, would be Drake London and Zucchini.
That's horrible. Like, they have Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
But just, like, if we're talking about receivers, it can't get worse than that. I don't think.
It might. It might get worse. I don't know if anyone's worse on this list.
Yeah.
They have Mariota, and then they drafted
Mariota.
Ritter.
They drafted Ritter, yeah.
But yeah, no, they're just not gonna. They're not gonna produce this year, and they're not gonna be very good.
No.
2 players Aiden was a big fan of last year.
No, he hated DJ Moore.
I didn't hate.
But he liked the Panthers.
He liked
DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson is an absolute bum.
No,
He's like, he sucks. I'm sorry.
Sucks.
You might see this and tweet at me, be like, "No, you suck."
No, this is a C.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Better than Myers Parker.
Like,
where are you gonna put him?
D.
They're better than
No,
D.
DJ Moore's good.
DJ Moore's
Guess,
good,
but
and Robbie Anderson can be good.
He sucks.
No,
he does suck.
He sucks.
He sucks. Like, he's bad. Like, he's really bad.
You know, okay, if we're putting Cooper Bell there, then you can put him.
Yeah, they're C.
Because they're pretty.
I was leaning towards B. I love DJ Moore. DJ Moore's a stud, but Robbie Anderson does put them.
Robbie Anderson just pulls him down the tier. Yeah.
A big question mark here. We have a Slant Boy who hasn't played a snap in like 3 years, and Olave who is a rookie, obviously.
It's kind of crazy. Like, I'm looking at rankings and whatever for fantasy football, and I just don't see Michael Thomas. Maybe I'm looking over him, but like when you talk about rankings,
maybe nobody wants him.
They don't have a quarterback really. They have like Jameis Winston as a quarterback.
Who can see now?
But his last healthy year, I'm
not
not trying to come off as a Michael Thomas fan because I hate Michael Thomas. But he led the league. He set the record for all time catches.
Yeah,
and you just don't see him anywhere, like in rankings, top 10 rankings.
When you have a player only run slants and a quarterback that throw slants, because arm can't throw further than 20 yards, it's a good combination.
But I would put them in B.
Ooh, yeah. B. Yeah.
Better than C.
Like Thomas,
and Olave is going to be good too.
Assuming Thomas is 75% the player that he was 2.5 years ago, he's still going to be up in that conversation of like top 12 receiver in the league. And Olave is a good prospect that could be a wide receiver 1 in a year or 2. Instant S tier is Evans got one. That's not even the question. 2 players that could easily be alphas on their own respective teams.
Great.
I'm not to piss Jeff off. We have Sutton and Judy. Any thoughts?
A. Maybe.
They're not better than Johnson and Claypool.
No.
That is a B tier receiving duo.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they're over Thomas and Olave.
Yeah.
So.
I think like once you get Russell Wilson paired with these
I
guys,
think the end of this year they could be like A easily, but based off like.
Yeah, like Sutton's a good receiver. And
Judy's a good receiver. But like, are they alphas? They're both
Judy
low end.
could grow into that.
Oh, absolutely. But as of right now,
yet,
I would say they're both low end 1s, high end 2s. When you look at like the top 32 receivers in the league, which I think puts them in like above average, but not like in crazy above average tier. Like, which would be
fair to put them in B. Yeah.
We have a very balanced list so far. So
yeah,
we did.
I'd say average is right down the middle.
D.
I would go F.
D.
D.
And they're gonna outperform F.
This is
for
Juju
sure.
and Hardman.
They're gonna outperform F for sure because they have Patrick Mahomes throwing them the ball.
So D.
But Juju sucks. Like, he's just terrible. He was like 98th in like separation last year.
He had such a drop off from his cup.
Are we going D or
first cup? Or D.
You can go D, but like in my opinion, it's F. Where do you want to go?
I want D.
Okay.
Because I feel like they're better than
Hardman sucks, guys. And Juju.
I'm taking Bateman and Duvernay over Juju and Hardman every other week. I'm just letting you guys know.
Well, after the end of the year,
I'm not taking these two. I'm not taking this one actually. Cooks and Collins over to determine, but
No,
you can
Nico
have what you
Collins
want.
has no upside.
We
Right.
laughed about Nico Collins for a straight minute and a half.
Bateman and Duvernay about end of the year. Maybe. I love Bateman.
Bateman's good, yeah.
I
And
love
Devin
Bateman.
Duvernay, I'll say it one more time, is a Pro Bowler. We can't forget this.
We're gonna forget it.
Was it for returning punts? Yes. Is he even good at that? Not really, but like, he's funny. He's got a good
Well,
name.
now he's got Sammy Watkins out
Funny.
of the way.
Yeah.
He's getting all the targets.
And Marquez Brown.
Yeah,
is
but
gone,
like
too.
Sammy Watkins.
Yeah.
Sammy
Another
Watkins.
instant S.
Yeah.
Just top receiver in the league, along with a player that's like a sneaky elite wide receiver in Renfro.
Yeah, if you're
Yeah.
talking about like just a slot receiver, like Renfro might be the top slot receiver in the league. He's incredible in that role.
Yeah, he's a role player, but he is an elite role
Yes.
player. And when you combine that with Adams and fucking Waddle on the field, like that offense is gonna feast in the
And
air.
Josh Jacobs.
Shut up.
Josh Jacobs. We love
He
Josh
sucks.
They declined his fifth-year option, so
Yeah.
he's gonna be a free agent.
Well,
at
we're
the end of the
finding
year.
out with
He's
this.
gonna be out of the
tier
NFL next
list.
year.
Probably.
What we're finding out with this tier list very fast is that there's a lot of really good wide receiver duos, and another one would be Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Do we want to go S?
I'm thinking A.
Keenan Allen is an underrated player, without a doubt. It is undisputed. Like he is an underrated player.
But
He's a top 10 receiver.
Yes, he's always been his whole career.
Yes, and he's
Yeah.
so good. And Mike Williams is like a roller coaster. It's just a very weird looking roller coaster. But
I'm
he,
he's not one of the twos up there.
He
he's
might be
better
a
than
little.
Robinson.
He might be a little overrated. He's better than Allen Robinson.
Well, last year.
Pump the brakes.
Last year, yes.
Pump the brakes.
Allen Robinson had really bad last year. No, you're,
Well,
you're right.
Who are
you're
you
right.
taking?
Allen Robinson.
Robinson or Mike
Allen
Williams?
Robinson's. But like at the end of next year, I could very easily see Mike Williams being the better receiver out of the two. Like without
He's got Herbert throwing the ball, which I think helps him out a lot. Unlocking his 50-50. Like, that's what he does. Like, if you paired him with, like, Jalen Hurts, because I know a lot of Eagles fans wanted Mike Williams, like, how good would Mike Williams
he's
be?
been their Alshon.
Yeah, like I think it definitely helps that he has Herbert throwing him the ball. He's
For
very
sure,
talented,
for sure.
but
Yeah.
I put them in.
I'd say like they're like the highest A.
Yeah.
Even the A is like those are some good receiving
Yeah.
duos. I'm still mad that Johnson and Claypool are B, but it's fine. We got
Is
eight.
it fine?
We got it's fine.
It's fine.
Our last 8 we got
I think it's fine.
the Cowboys with Lamb and Gallup. Lamb is a very good receiver.
Gallup's a good receiver.
Who's another like up and coming. They're both up and coming receivers once again.
B.
Lamb could explode into a top 5 receiver this year easily.
B.
But as of right now, I think we have to put
They haven't
them in
proven
B.
A.
They have a low end 1 and like a low end 2, so it's a
It's a B.
Yeah, it's a B.
They'll have a lot more targets
Better
and
than the
everything.
C's. Definitely.
Yeah. Instant. Is that instant F?
That's an F.
That's an F tier.
It's an F.
Galladay's
Galladay's terrible.
Tony are just
I hated Galladay last
like they
year.
just suck.
And it was a
Galladay,
good year
Okay,
to hate
Tony-
him.
Galladay hated himself last year. Like he just sucked.
Tony doesn't suck. I actually do
Yeah,
like
Tony is
Darius
pretty good.
Tony.
He had that one game where he just
He
went
had that
sick
one
on the-
game, then he like punched the guy and got suspended. That was funny.
Yeah, he's a
Very
But
funny.
he's okay. But it's an F because Galladay gets paid $20 million a year to be bad.
Yeah, we're gonna save AJ Brown and Devonta Smith to last. So next we have McLaurin and Josh.
I mean, John
John
Dotson.
Dogs.
I'm such a big fan
Congrats
of
on graduating. But
I mean, you can't.
McLaurin's underrated.
Can you put them in B?
I would put him in. I mean,
They're B.
I'll take your word
B.
for how good Dotson is. McLaurin is a good receiver, and he's
He's really
underrated because of how shitty his quarterback play has been.
Yeah.
So if you say that Dotson is like,
I think it could be A very quickly.
well, not Carson Wentz throwing the fucking ball, but
John Dotson's. He's gonna show off.
You think
in
so?
the NFL.
Think
Yes.
he's that good?
Such a John Dotson fan. And McLaurin has always been underrated and has not gotten any help.
None.
But that's a B for now. Yeah.
so a lot of bad receivers coming up in this next.
It's
Yeah.
Equanimous.
Yes.
Yes, we got some brothers back
That's
here.
gotta be.
It's
So-
an F.
Mooney's a good.
But that's an F.
Mooney's good. but
Mooney's the
is
one
he
who's
as
like
good
low,
as like Michael Pittman?
No, he's a low end 2, high end 3, and
I do like
Equanimous
Mooney
St.
a lot.
Brown probably shouldn't be on a roster. So yeah, it's probably F tier.
Probably number 2 receiver.
So the better brother, Amon-Ra St. Brown,
Love that guy.
along with their newly drafted
Jamison Williams.
Jameson Williams.
And depending on if he's healthy or not, this could be DJ Chark instead of Jameson Williams.
That's true. But Jameson Williams,
I think he
eventually
is the
will
first
be.
round pick.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's gonna be a stud.
D-
This duo has potential to move up with the next couple years to
Yes, a lot.
S tier. Like they are two.
Right now,
very
I think they're a
promising
C.
receivers. St. Brown had a very good rookie year, and Williams. It's very unproven, so I would probably put him in C because they're not better than like some of the more proven duos like Sutton and Judy or.
But I'm a
Johnson
big
and
fan
Claypool.
of both those players.
Yeah, no, that
Yeah,
they have one of the highest potentials of any duo in this whole list.
Yeah. Oof, that's enough. That's enough.
It is.
And I think Christian Watson can be a really good player paired up with Aaron Rodgers. But you got Lazard.
Lazard's
Lazard.
a good blocker. Fucking J.J. take a Whiteside type player, and then Watson
Is
against a rookie.
unproven.
So
Yeah.
that's gotta be F tier, and they're probably gonna do better than that because they have Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers throwing them the ball. But like as a talent standpoint, they just are not that
awful.
good. And then an instant S tier
Yes.
with Justin Jefferson and Thielen.
Yeah.
Another
And
high end one with another low end one. Just make sure an S combo. So lastly, we have the newly acquired AJ Brown with the young GOAT, Devonta Smith. Where is this duo ranking?
A. I think it's an A.
Yeah, with the other, I mean, Brown is top 10, right?
Yes, and Devontae Smith is really
Which
good.
is a high end one.
He's really
Smith, as of last year, what he put up, I would say he's a high end 2 as of last year. He's a rookie, so
good. Look,
he should hopefully only get better.
He's
and then,
better than Claypool, and AJ Brown's better than Deontay Johnson.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely not B. That's not a question.
I think they're A.
It's between A and S, but I would say, as of right now, they're probably A.
But they
I
can't
think,
go S.
No,
No.
they're not S.
but I think by the
So-
end of this year, they could definitely go S. Devonta Smith just has to show that he is an elite receiver, and they'll instantly they could be the best duo in the league at the end of next year with two players that are still very young and can just improve. Now with Jalen Hurts throwing the ball,
And your top tight end in franchise history taking targets away from them.
Goddard's a dog.
And running the ball 40 times a game.
Yeah, so I'm saying like they're not in the prime position, but like you can still be a top receiver, and not put up the craziest numbers because you can just show on in game like
Yeah.
you can tell when a player's an absolute beast.
I think we have a good list.
Do you guys like the list?
Yeah.
I do
And
like it.
I'm very happy that we made it, and not purposefully. It's very even.
yeah,
it's
It's not like
extremely
top heavy
even.
or anything. Yeah.
There is one more on top than there is on bottom,
Yeah.
which means that B and C, like that's the average and above average cutoff. There's some people that would go up or down, plus or minus 1, but I think it's a very
Pretty good
strong
list.
list. Yeah.
Yeah, I
But,
think we did a good job.
The guy on TV would probably say that we put Brown and Smith way too
Yes.
far down.
So
They
we
should
have-
be S at the first.
We have at least 7 duos ahead of Brown and Smith.
Yeah.
Not to mention Keenan Allen and Williams, Metcalf, Lockett, Sam Ayuk, and Diggs and Davis. Still not sure about Diggs and Davis in A, but it's fine.
They should be
They
there.
should do that.
So we're going to move on to our last segment now, and it's another new one. This could be a staple if the one person watching likes it. So we're going to do is I'm going to have some Philly
Our
trivia,
biggest fan.
and we're going to put these two up against each other. So I'm going to ask Aiden 5 questions first, and we're going to see how many gets right in a minute. And then I'm going to ask Dakota the same 5 questions in a minute. Whoever gets more wins. If it's a tie, we'll go to a tiebreaker. And then they'll probably talk shit about each other for the next couple minutes. Okay, so Aiden's going to go first. He's going to have 1 minute to answer these 5 questions. You can say pass and go to the next one.
Yep.
And the timer will start as soon as I finish my first question. Are you ready?
Yes.
Out of these 3 players, who has the most rushing yards as an Eagle? LeGarrette Blount, Jalen Hurts, or Boston Scott?
Garrett Blunt.
Wrong. Schwarber and Harper are first and second homers this year. Who is third?
Pass.
What is the oldest sports team in Philly out of the Big Four?
I'll say the Phillies.
Correct. During the regular season this year, who averaged the second most points for the Sixers?
Harden.
Yes. Name one current Flyers player.
Carter Hart.
I don't know if it's right or not.
I'm pretty sure it's on the team.
Sure.
And then back to the Phillies one, I'm thinking Romuto.
That is incorrect. So you went 3 for 5.
Right.
Not bad. All right, Dakota's turn now. Out of these 3 players, who has the most rushing yards as an Eagle? LeGarrette Blount, Jalen Hurts, or Boston Scott?
So if I get it wrong, can I not redo it?
No.
Hurts.
Correct. Schwarber and Harper are first and second homers this year. Who is third?
Castellanos.
Correct. Out of the big 4 Philadelphia sports team, who is the oldest?
Phillies.
Correct. During the regular season this year, who averaged the second most points for the Sixers per game?
Pass.
Name 1 current Flyers player.
Carter Hart.
Correct.
Max here, Tobias. Maxie.
Incorrect. James Harden.
Harden?
James Harden.
Is that like his Brooklyn stats factor into it?
No,
too?
no, those are for the Sixers.
Huh.
All right.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense actually.
We'll put-
Yeah, so do you not watch the Phillies, Mr. Phillies guy?
I thought Romuto had the hard start, and then I forgot about Castellanos.
2 home runs. That's all he's
Just
got.
forget about players now.
Yeah.
Just all right.
How?
What else did he get the Hurts one wrong too?
I got that one wrong
Yeah, he
because I
said-
didn't
That's
even
fair.
know who that guy was.
That's why I figured you.
So I thought that
That's the part I said. I don't know if Aiden knows who LeGarrette Blount is. No, LeGarrette Blount was last on that list. He only had like 700 some yards as an Eagle.
Really hit more than Boston Scott?
Boston Scott had 900 something, and Hurts is over 1,000 already.
Huh.
I thought he was there for a while.
Nope.
Well, he was
But he was a primary running back.
Sort of
that
the
year.
lead back during
Yeah.
the Super Bowl run. I mean, we had
I was gonna say Blunt,
3.
and then I was like, and then Hurts.
So congrats to Dakota for winning the first one. We probably will do that again.
If Jeff likes it.
If Jeff likes it. Thanks
Jeff,
for
you
watching.
better like it.
So with that being said,
Go Sixers.
go Sixers.
Go Sixers.
Hopefully by the time you post this, the series is even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And subscribe, like, we'll see you next week.